This is the program that shows you the side of police chase videos they didn't want you to see.
He picked up speed, look at that!
Bungled arrests, kamikaze crooks, and cop-based carnage of all kinds. Welcome to Cops Uncut 2, the real car crash TV.
On my way. Car's on fire.
Coming up, eyewitness police madness, motorists' insanity, and cataclysmic collisions.
Oh no! Oh no!
Outside this Californian bank, there's been a road rage incident with the aggressive driver of this Honda pulling a gun on another motorist for cutting him up. The cops have set off in pursuit of the gunman, a Mr. Young Chol Pak, and have decided it's time for a little aggression of their own. Not one, but two cruisers put the squeeze on Mr. Angry, ramming him sideways into a parked motor and using the prongs on the front of the squad cars to take chunks out of his. Like so many fleeing suspects, our man decides it's better to ditch the Honda and take his chances on foot. Big mistake, because when he takes down a complete stranger's conservatory, what started off as road rage swiftly degenerates into foot rage. Running from the cops is one thing, but if you screw with lawn ornaments belonging to these guys, well, you ain't going anywhere fast. All that's left is for the chasing cop to really put the boot in. Our bloke is obviously still very cross by the time he's bundled into the cruiser, but maybe he's learned his lesson, because when it comes to rage on road or on foot, the cops are undisputed champions. Try and take them on at their own game, and they'll clobber you every single time. As a cop, you'll find that appearances can often be deceptive.
Why you get on me?
Take the lady in this car and her young daughter, who's just been pulled over.
I'm not getting on you. What's happening is, this is the second time now for the same thing.
The traffic violation is small,
She's not in a seatbelt.
but significant,
She was standing up.
She is not.
which also happens to be a pretty good description
She was standing up just a few seconds ago.
of the woman herself.
Don't be arguing with him, because I was watching you coming through that intersection, and that girl was standing up in your back seat.
Clearly, this is a two-man operation.
Why?
Take your
you
driver's
like
license
You
out.
hate me for what?
Oh, I don't hate you.
The officers try a classic good cop, bad cop routine. Good cop kicks off first.
No, what happens is I don't hate you, is that I like you, and I'm looking out for your welfare. I'd hate to see your little one get hurt. She's gorgeous.
Then bad cop has a turn.
We're not picking on you.
This
We
is the
didn't.
Christmas gift for me.
Wait a minute, listen. Nobody's picking on you. We didn't tell you to drive through the intersection with the girl jumping up in the back seat. You did that all yourself.
It's not.
Ma'am, don't lie to me, because we were sitting there in the intersection watching her standing up.
Sadly, neither approach seems to be helping.
Don't touch me. Okay?
The now frenzied woman tries to take a chunk out of good cop's arm.
No,
Don't
please.
don't swipe at me again, otherwise you're gonna regret it. Okay? Calm down for a second.
Why did you hate me so much?
This is one pint-sized cannibal that really doesn't want a ticket.
Why you are so bad to me?
I'm not being bad to you, ma'am. Okay?
And the cop just wants the whole thing over.
Have a safe day, ma'am.
Unfortunately for them, Mrs. Lecter is back for seconds.
Seat in your car. There's nothing to have a seat, ma'am.
Why you make use of your authority like this?
Thankfully, neither officer is on the menu this time, and after a brief moment of divine intervention,
That is end of story.
I pray every day that you will be safe. If
Well, I'm
you
glad you
misuse
prayed
your
for us.
authority,
Pray
then
for your
something will
daughter,
happen
too.
to you.
good cop
Ma'am, go ahead so you can have a safe day.
and bad cop
We'll take off.
say their fond farewells.
Don't talk.
Still to come. Explosive impacts. Hostile motorists.
Drop the gun!
And joyriding without the joy. Police Academy, Lesson 26, Advanced Driving. As a cop, you'll need to show much higher driving skills than ordinary civilians and remain firmly in control of your cruiser at all times. So here's another lesson in our ongoing Cops Uncut crash course. Let's start with a few sophisticated moves to set you on the road to success. First up, always remember to close your door before driving off. It might not sound important, but a closed door can help prevent many unnecessary accidents. The other important thing is to remember not to drive into anything. Particularly not people, and especially not 12-year-old girls. Complicated stuff, so let's go over these points again, shall we? It's always helpful to open your door before getting in, but try to close it again before driving off. And remember, just because you come across solid objects doesn't mean you always have to drive into them. Follow these two helpful rules and you should be able to A, hurt fewer people, and B, not get yourself sacked. Joyriding has become a national pastime in the States, particularly since the proliferation of rolling news channels.
He just goes right through the middle of those two cars.
In LA, for example, all you need to do is steal a car,
And it looks like he doesn't have any room to move here.
force the odd motorist out of your way,
This may come to an end right here.
and you'll have your own TV copter crew complete with a commentary from someone who should be in an asylum.
He goes right through that intersection.
In America, bonkers criminal behavior is a surefire shortcut to celebrity status. The downside is that lunacy like this
Is he up on the curb?
will attract unwanted attention from the local feds.
The penalties are just getting stiffer and stiffer, and it really sends a message to these people that although your pursuit may have been captured on tape, it's not worth the price you're going to pay by going to jail.
Tonight's performance clearly isn't the work of a solo artist.
And as you said, it appears that there is a passenger in the vehicle. So LAPD, right now, they're assuming that there are two people right now.
Whoever they are, they're determined to impress the viewers back home, raging through the streets with scant regard for their or anyone else's safety. Things get worse as the felons find a long stretch of tarmac and start hitting some mental speeds.
And the speeds now, we're doing 140 miles an hour right now, trying to catch up, and you can see that we're not doing a very effective job.
Eventually, the pursuit reaches a residential area and our joyriding demonstration notches up a level.
And look at that, did you see that? Right up on the curb there, unbelievable.
Although curb crawling like this is small fry compared to something
Right through a stop sign as though it wasn't even there. Oh, look at that, oh no!
like this.
An accident there, did you see that?
Well, you could hardly miss it, could you? But for those who blinked, here's the moment of impact again.
And it might not end here.
But sadly for the TV networks, it does end here. The police move in and make their arrests. Mercifully, there are no fatalities and no one's badly hurt. But just who are the card-carrying nutters that have entertained the crowds with their joyriding masterclass? South Central gang godfathers? Gun-toting armed robbers?
Look at that, they got him in custody there.
Well, tonight's televised turmoil was brought to you by a pair of 11th grade schoolgirls. Funny, isn't it? How American celebrities just seem to be getting younger and younger. With driving like this,
We're doing 140 miles an hour right now.
it wasn't too hard to predict an outcome like this.
We said this may end in a traffic accident, and that's exactly how it has ended. We hate to see it.
But even the cops or the clever TV people couldn't have guessed
Look at that, they got him in custody there.
that the duo behind this evening's lesson in lawlessness were two 17-year-old girlies. When the police tug someone for suspicion of having a sherry too many, it's usually the driver that the cops tend to focus on. The classic sobriety test looks more like something from a black and white comedy film, but tonight's performance isn't a solo routine. Perhaps the cop should have paid more attention to the side of the stage, because while they're watching Chuckles strut his stuff, his wife makes a guest appearance carrying a gun.
Whoa! Drop the gun! Drop the gun!
But she doesn't drop the gun. Instead, she carefully takes aim at the officers, who, unsurprisingly, dive for cover. Like hubby, the lady's a little wobbly on her feet. Drink driving is one thing, but being drunk in charge of a loaded shooter is quite another. Hubby does what he's told and hits the deck. But his missus isn't going to take things lying down. She strolls off, gun in hand, with a casual gangster-esque swagger.
She's going around the building. She's single zero.
When things seem safe, the police try to regain control. First, they sort out the husband, who's still vainly protesting his innocence.
I didn't do nothing.
Here.
Nice try, but the cops aren't having any of it.
Get down.
Once he's been roughed and cuffed, the officers leave the man to sober up while they head off for a spot of wife stopping.
See, where's she at?
North Carolina, and the police are responding to an incident at a local convenience store. At first, the officers, seen here and here, can't seem to find their felon. But then he gives them a bit of a clue. Could this be the chap they're after, perhaps? Once they've located their suspect, the policemen face the challenge of getting the bloke to stop smashing into everything around him, including their own squad car. Now comes the really difficult part. Getting the car doors open. Perhaps our dynamic duo were off sick when this area was covered in basic training. Finally, Carolina's finest crack the cop-proof locks in time to nail the day's final challenge, ferreting out the suspect who's decided to hide in the back seat. Surely, not even this pair of meatheads are going to be fooled by that one. So remember, a good cop keeps his eyes peeled for trouble, keeps a hand in the action, and keeps on trying till he gets those doors open.
Taking off again.
You've heard the phrase, if you want to do a job properly, then do it yourself. Well, when it comes to American cops, sometimes the reverse is true. Occasionally, it's a whole lot easier to get other people to do all the hard work for you. The traffic troopers involved in the chase here aren't having much luck getting the fleeing felon in this stolen car to stop. So they've used the CB channel on their radio to enlist the help of the civilian driver of this lorry ahead. As it turns out, the unofficially deputized trucker is actually pretty good at keeping the crook at bay. He swerves from side to side, blocking the thief's path, and occasionally nudges him off the road altogether. The police sit back and enjoy the show as the lorry driver puts paid to another attempt at slipping past. Eventually, the suspect realizes he's no match for the big rig, and the cops decide to stop toying with their victim. With the truck now a distant memory, the police move in. And if it's guns at the ready, it's time to get rough with their man. As far as the cops are concerned, the day's been a good balance of work, rest, and play. They've worked hard when it came to arresting their suspect, but only after taking a lengthy rest from all the rough stuff, to play with their radio-controlled lorry. Still to come. What happens when you don't use your mirrors? You completely fail to signal, and you get mischievous with your maneuvers. Taking off again. Not for the last time today, we head over to Virginia. If life has pushed you over the edge and you're ready to wave goodbye to the world, then perhaps all you need is a big, strong policeman to take you firmly from behind. And, with a little help from his friends, set you back on the road to salvation. Because just when you feel life couldn't get any worse, there'll always be a cop or 10 on hand to remind you that it can.
Don't drop me, don't drop me.
Staying in the mother state, we're about to see a police roadblock bring a long chase to a short end. The person trashing his getaway car here is one Sean Michael Love, wanted by the cops for a string of offences including robbery and attempted murder. Thanks to this well-placed, unmarked police car, neither Mr. Love nor his unnamed female accomplice will be going anywhere else in a hurry. But even though Love clearly has his hands in the air in the internationally recognised I surrender gesture, the cops still treat him to some rough and tumble as they drag him out of his motor. Once they finish their workout, they take Love limping over to the squad cars. The cop with the shotgun slung over his shoulder goes to wash Mr. Love's blood from his hands, while the other officers carefully choose which cruiser they're going to take him downtown in and try and open the doors. Love's love interest doesn't appear to be enjoying her evening out either. I reckon she and her boyfriend will be riding in separate taxis tonight. After his run-in with the law, Mr. Love looks a little worse for wear. Although it's his car that really seems to have borne the brunt of tonight's excitement. Of course, none of that matters now, because thanks to some rough handling from his captors, Mr. Love has got himself a brand new set of wheels. And from the scars on his face, it's safe to say that Love really does hurt.
Don't drop me, don't drop me.
Drunk Test Dummies. Motorhomes, your own hotel on wheels. One of the many benefits of having a motorhome is that when you've had a few too many and you're a little wobbly, you can just pull over and sleep it off rather than swerving randomly all over the road.
10-4 vehicle driving completely on the wrong side of the road.
Several motorists have become cross at the guy's juiced-up joyride and have reported him to the Texas Department of Public Safety. If the cops don't get him off the road soon, he's likely to do it himself and possibly take an innocent passerby out with him. Thankfully, the pursuing officer manages to get the man to pull over.
Where are you coming from?
Sonora. Trying to get to Atlanta Road.
He offers an explanation for his curious driving technique.
I fell asleep there.
The cop senses he's got a live one.
Yeah.
And the video opportunity is too good to miss.
Oh, man, he ran. Let me turn my car around so I can videotape this individual. Could you help me here for just a minute? Just make sure this gentleman doesn't get in this car while I turn my car around.
So the Winnebago wino is left in the care of some helpful bystanders while the cop frames up his dashboard camera.
Negative, Angela. I've got quite a few people out here already that are going to help out. He's definitely very intoxicated.
And so here he is, the soon-to-be star of the Sobriety show, our motorhome driver. The stage is set for the officer to conduct today's matinee drunk test.
Just lean up against your bed. There you go, so you won't fall down.
But sadly, our expectant crowd have been sold tickets to a dud. Because since our drunk test dummy can't even stand up, there's little hope of him walking in a straight line. And the curtains are drawn on a performance that never really began. When they're tailing a suspected criminal like the bloke in the stolen car ahead, cops aren't averse to a spot of ramming to get him to stop. But when the tables are turned and the fleeing crook tries a little ramming of his own, it's a different matter altogether and usually results in an extremely cross policeman. So when the cop fails to notice those telltale reversing lights a second time, you'd have thought that the officer concerned would be hopping mad. But it seems like the cop on the receiving end of the ramming has forgotten how to turn on the waterworks. Because as the suspect is captured, cuffed and paraded out by his colleagues, apparently with a paper bag on his head, he should be kicking off and throwing his toys out the pram. Does he scream at the man? No. Does he keel over in pain? No. Instead, he feebly points to the scratch on his bumper before showing the little cuts on his arm to his colleague. You'd have thought that to make sure the guy gets locked away for years, the injured cop would have given an Oscar-winning performance in pain. But we don't even get a whiff of amateur dramatics, not even the blue flashing lights of an ambulance. Even though the bad guy used the arse of his car as a bulldozer and followed it up with a second helping, in the end, it was the cops that couldn't be asked to put on the dramatics to make sure this wacko went down for longer. Let's recap tonight's lineup one more time. We've put the boot in, met angry motorists, watched the diarist driving, followed by terrible crashes. We got surprised by guns.
Drop the gun!
And outwitted by criminals. We've played with lorries, saved jumpers from bridges, witnessed crashes, sniggered at drunkenness, and this guy showed us his arse. Be careful out there.